Good. Hi. It's Tuesday night. We're here. It's Tuesday night with two Tonys. Well, not really. Anthony. Right. You prefer Anthony, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is that that's not a stage thing? It's. I mean, you normally go by that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony.
I've been called worse.
Yeah, right. Me too. Trust me. Anthony's here. We're very excited to have Anthony here. One of the funniest comedians. It's weird saying up and coming, but because you think from talking to him, you think how much he's around. You think he's been around a long time, but he's still fairly new. But he is catching fire. He's on his way up, and there are big and incredible, all sorts of cool stuff happening for this man right here.
Thanks.
So we're very excited he's here. We're grateful and appreciative.
And I'm not being rude. I'm just sharing it on my.
That's right. We're all
like
he's bougie. No, I'm sharing it on all my social media.
Look at that rude young man.
He's not even paying attention to Tony. Kick him out.
Yeah, they have no idea that like for 5 minutes I'm like, so as soon as we start,
we were getting
you have to
social
share.
media lessons before we went on because we're clueless. I don't know.
All right, good. Wow.
There's something about if you're over 40, you're just clueless. You just go on Facebook and you just hope the world watches.
I'm almost there.
You are almost there, but you're not there.
No, not yet.
And apparently, you're still young enough to go to the nightclubs. Guys like me apparently are not.
It hurts though. It hurts. The next morning, it hurts.
Is that going to be tough for you when you're 46 that you can't go into a nightclub? Is that going to?
I don't want to go into a nightclub anymore. You give me like light music playing over a Starbucks cafe, I'm good. I don't need. Because it's you go into the nightclub, and here's the problem when a guy, as you get older, you go into a nightclub. Mentally, you're still young,
right?
And it's almost like you're trapped in someone else's body because you feel 20-something again.
I hear you.
But everyone's like, "Oh, someone's uncle's here, picking them up," and it's just.
Well, and I remember going to the clubs when I was young, looking at the guy like, I'm pushing 50 now, and I would look at that guy. What the hell is that guy?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll say although that guy, he'd walk in like this, and he had all the chains and the dyed hair and maybe a fake ponytail. And
his name was always Vito.
Yes. So I'm not one of those.
I would see
still.
people that were like that age when I was young, and I would think, wow, they probably just got kicked out of their house.
Right.
You know?
Oh, look, he just
or
got
going
divorced.
to a nightclub.
Yeah, he just got divorced. He's telling his wife he's out playing bridge or something.
Right.
Yeah, we had a guy like that. I grew up in Westchester, New York, and we had a guy at all the nightclubs in Westchester, and he was like a 50-year-old guy. And I remember being a 22-year-old looking at a 50-year-old. I'm like, yo, this is someone's grandpa. Now I'm like, 50 is not that old. I'm like, hey, 50 looks. But this guy was in every club, and I'm like, he was that guy like women would dance with just to be funny. Now I'm that guy at 38. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go dance with a 38-year-old that's just beginning to recede.
Look at him dance. He's so cute. Look at him.
No, but that's one thing about like everyone sees me dance and they laugh because they're like, I used to teach dance.
Oh, really?
I taught like hip hop and for like a real brief. But I can dance my ass off. Like, I was that guy in the minute. No, I'm not doing it here because I did it at my last show. Like, I always come out playing some sort of music and I'll dance and, like, bunch people out. I pulled my groin. Wow. I did some move that, like, my brain said do it and my leg said, what are you doing? And I just did it and...
It ripped.
Oh, yeah, something ripped.
And then you opened with that, so you still do your bit?
Sucked it all up. And,
nice.
Went backstage, almost cried, but yeah. Something ripped. It was the only time that I heard a rip, and I'm like, I hope I have a hole in my pants. And I didn't, and I'm like, definitely my groin. It was my groin. Yeah, you gotta just, when you get older, man, it sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it sure does.
People are writing in already. Robert Murphy said that he celebrated his 40th birthday at a comedy show, and Anthony was awesome.
Nice.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. I think I met him. I think I met Robert after the show.
Nice.
Yeah, it was his 40th birthday party. Yeah, happy birthday, Robert.
Now, is that something we were just talking before we went live. We were talking about comedians and having to have a niche and get yourself out there.
Yeah.
I did notice on your Facebook, a lot of people, they post photos with you. It looks like it's at your shows.
It is.
So is that something that you make a point to do after shows?
I told myself years ago, listen, I always had a dream. My dream was to be a comedian.
Yeah.
And then eventually get into movies and shows. But I always told myself that I don't care how big I get or how small I am, but if I'm doing this, here's what people lose sight of, especially like these big time guys. You get to a certain point of popularity or success in the entertainment world, they lose sight of the people that got them there, which are the people that come. Listen, if I don't have people following me or people, fans or people paying money I don't do shows.
Right.
So I always told myself, I don't care how big the show is. After every show, I make an announcement on stage. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be out front. I want to meet every single person. If you're able to stay, if you have kids, I hear you. And I always make it a point to meet everybody. I do a meet and greet after every single, no matter how. I mean, I did a show in April. I was in Toronto, and then I literally flew home, got home at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and had a double show at Governor's. Wow. We had I think two shows at Governor's.
I think that was the last time I saw you. That's when we did Joey Cola's show.
Yes. It was that Saturday, and my manager's like, listen, if you want to just crash backstage for the, I'm like, no, listen, these people come out to see me, and I show them acknowledgement and appreciation because, like I said, without them, I'm not doing any shows. Yeah. So I make it a point after every show to do
That's awesome, by the way, and I saw that. Yeah, I could totally see that in the pictures. Like, and not only are you there, but you're. You got your arms around. You got a big smile. You're not just going through the motions of taking a quick picture.
No, I gotta get a lot more. I gotta get meaner because here's the problem with Italian fans. I love my fans. I got the craziest fans in the world. I have loyal,
but
they don't realize there's a line behind them, and I get people, and I listen. Some of them are watching right now. You gotta look behind you, and if you see a line of people they're not waiting for something else. They're waiting to do the same thing you're doing.
Right.
And they're like, oh, what's that deli? What's that bar? Where did I see you before? You know who you look like? And I'm like, not now. Why don't you just message me in the morning and I'll answer any question you have? Because you have so many people behind you. Yeah. And it's a late night. I mean, but.
Well, and speaking of Joey Cola, we Joey's been hosting. He's been doing these Sopranos shows where some guys from the Sopranos come out and Joey's hosting like the Q&As. Right. So he just did one Friday night in Detroit, and then this past Saturday he was over here in Westbury. So we go, and they were doing the meet and greet after. Right. And these poor bastards, it was Christopher from The Sopranos, Bacala, and Pussy from The Sopranos. And so, they did this gig the night before. They flew, like you said, they flew here, then they had to do another gig.
They look exhausted.
And now the meet and greet, I mean, it had to be like half of Westbury Music Fair was there online for this meet and greet. And we waited almost to the end of the line because we were guests of Joey. When we finally got to these guys, I mean,
they were depleted. Oh no! Listen, when I got into this, so it was about a year ago. I decided to get back in. Before I did, it was a year. So it was a year ago I got back into it. I think it was May 5th was my first show back.
Happy anniversary!
Oh, actually yes. Oh, May 1st. Thank you. I didn't realize it. I'd like to thank my parents. I totally forgot. Shit. Oh, so it was a May 5th.
This is why we invited you on.
Surprise!
Wow,
your family's here.
Wow, you guys remembered. Oh, are they?
And the audience that was there.
The meet and greet, waiting outside.
Oh man. But I didn't realize it. So a year ago was my first show back. But a year before that, I did literally. I mean, and I'm an anxious person. Like if you ever see me backstage while the other guys are on, I'm like, is it my time to get? Because I love the stage. I love to get out.
I'm the same way.
So for a year, I told myself, I'm not doing a show unless I know how to get myself out there. So I did a year of research on social media. I researched Instagram. I researched Facebook. I researched Twitter, YouTube. I tracked accounts to see who was growing organically, how they were growing, what they were doing. And then I started a trend, and I started seeing a pattern. I took that pattern, I put it into place, and I was like, okay, you got to attack a certain niche. You got to attack a certain audience. Obviously, I attacked the Italian community. Right. You attack a certain audience, and it gets big to the point where it's spreading. You don't have to worry about the other people. You don't have to worry about the Greeks, the Spanish. They're going to catch on. So then instead of off the boat Italian, you start relating to just off the boat in general. Okay. And it started getting to that point. But yeah, it was a year ago, and it literally happened like that. Right. So I'm like, I was excited, but now I'm like, dude, this is like hard. I'm always writing. I write material every day. Right. Like I might have 40 hours of material on my phone, constantly writing. The hard part is I have so much respect for the guys that do this full time that fly to the West Coast, fly back. I went to Toronto to here. It's like a 17-minute flight. Right. I was exhausted. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I just flew in. They're like, from where? I'm like, Toronto. They're like, that's like a 25-minute flight. I'm like, it's hard. This customs held us up, and listen, this shit is tough. Yeah. Doing double shows on Friday, double shows on Saturday. Once I hit the stage, I'm fine.
Right.
I don't feel anything.
Coming off, you probably
It's
you-
like
you
somebody
crash.
pulled my batteries out. It's,
Yeah.
you know, but it's,
That's it.
I have respect for all the guys that do it full time. It's crazy.
Now I want to go back. Yeah, I do want to go back to the beginning because you have an interesting story. But before we do that, talking about the meet and greets and the appreciation for everybody that's coming, do you think you had that appreciation because of the time off that you took, or was that always there?
Well, I took like 8 years off.
Right.
I did comedy years ago.
Right.
I was doing small comedy clubs and I was doing shows where, like, you know, they would rent out a theater and I would do 15, 20 minutes. Never did any headline stuff. So I took 8 years off, and I've always, my parents raised me humble. It's like, listen, I wasn't deprived as a child. I wasn't overly spoiled as a child. My father, you know, busted his ass. My mom worked full time. So just, I mean, they would always say, like, I was good in sports and stuff like that, but my mom always she told me, she was like, listen, you ever get into the spotlight and you ever finally take that chance, don't forget what it took to get there.
Sure.
It took the people that support you. And I don't know, I think I've always been like, that comes from home, though. You know what I mean? Everybody laughs at me. They're like, you know, you're not going to know me a year from now. You're not going to, and I'm like, I don't think I can ever be that douchebag to where, like, you see me a year from now, you're, hey, I'm like, oh my God, I was in his house once. Oh, it was so weird. Like, I don't ever think I could be like that guy, because I can't sleep at night.
Chris Monty did that. You know Chris?
I know of him, yeah.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
Great guy. I love Chris, and one of my favorites. But yeah, I asked him, this is our second year doing this. This is actually the 66th show we're doing right here.
Oh, awesome.
And he came on, I think it was like maybe 15 or something.
Right.
I asked him to do the show. Now I know Chris, don't know him well. I invite him, and I think he thought he was coming to a studio. I think he was coming, you know. He knocks on the door, like, and he said, he goes, I'm in the right place. I'm going to a house. I'm like, yeah, and we go in, we come in, and the whole time he was just in shock. Like, you know, he looks at, you know, we do this on an iPad. There's no big giant studio.
You'd be surprised, man.
And he was just the whole time, just, where the hell
Anytime
am
you
I?
watch podcasts and it looks like a studio, it's usually someone's basement.
Well, true.
Like,
true.
I'm setting up my garage as a studio. I'm going to start having podcasts and stuff.
Yep.
Listen, I don't care. I'll shoot a video on a roof. Like, and people start reaching out to me now. Like, you reached out to me. You're like, hey, you want to be on my podcast? I'm like, yeah. Like, I like being out there. I like people to see what I'm doing. Because, like I said, without that, I mean, you know, the more exposure you get, I mean, the better. But
that is something how you did the research on the social media, because I mean that's a huge part of how you've risen so quickly.
I came up with a character.
I mean, apart from being funny, of course. But.
Well, it's funny, like the comfort level people are having with you. Like one guy, Vinny De Clemente, is like, Anthony, were you on the Wantagh Parkway tonight around 7 p.m. on Sunrise Highway? I thought I saw you.
7 p.m. No, I left my house at 8:15. But yeah, I mean, listen. But I think, and talking about like the meet and greets and stuff, it goes so much further than that. Like, I hate it when you have these celebrities. Now, listen, I know I have a total of 60,000 followers combined compared to some of these guys that have millions. But no, it's like, and I know it's hard. Listen, it's hard to constantly keep in contact with them.
Yeah.
But how do you go from responding to just ignoring your fans? Like, not even liking a video or liking a comment. So I also talk to all my fans. Like, they write me, I answer back. I might not answer back today. I'll answer back tomorrow, the next day. But I try to get some of them. Some of you guys, you got to stop. I mean, I get like messages at 5 a.m. Hey, what's up, man? Just woke up for work. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Laying in bed.
Sleeping.
And they're like, well, what do you do? And my friends are like, dude, ignore them. I'm like, no, because that's when they show up at your house with like duct tape. I don't want to ignore them. But yeah, I talk to all my fans. I respond to them. I write them back. I comment on videos. I mean, you got to.
And I think that's even, you know, part of the success we've had at Governor's doing the radio show.
Yeah.
Because we are so interactive. You know. I mean, half of our shows is just commenting or reacting to what people are commenting.
Well, and it's true. Like, you guys were like talking about like really interesting stuff, and then there's this conversation amongst them about like the dog, because at one point, and you could tell like from the iPad, like the dog was underneath the pillow, and all you saw was like the pillow move.
Oh, really?
And then so Eric's like, "There's a pillow moving. How is a pillow moving?" And then
he's got rodents.
And then someone's like, "Oh, look, there's ears coming out." And then Eric's,
is that where the rodent went?
and then Eric's like, "Why is there a mattress in the background?" And then
yeah.
and then someone else is like, "That's why the dog's turning around now. It's his bed, and he's stuck on the sofa."
That's what they're all talking about? Like that's stuff that listen, I walk in your house, I didn't even know there's a mattress. Like, my attention span is just like here. Like, some people watch my videos and they're like, "Hey, I have the same mug." And I'm like, "There's a mug in the back of my video? Oh my God, you've been looking at that video too long."
All right, well, first off, the mattress is there because we don't need it. We're trying to get rid of it, and we just haven't put it anywhere else. Anybody need a mattress? Let us know.
Yeah,
we're giving it away at this point. So if anybody needs a mattress, there's also the box spring and the frame. So if anybody needs a bed, just let us know. That's why it's there. But actually, that happens a lot on the radio show too, and here sometimes too. The viewers, they, even though they never physically met, but they get to know each other a little bit from these shows, and they have their own conversations, which I think is great too.
I love it.
And again, that helps. It's nice that these people are forming those relationships, but it's also, of course, I won't lie. It's good for our exposure. It's good for the shows too. That I don't like the word fans, to be honest, though, because it's short for fanatic, but it builds the fan base.
Is that true? I never even thought about that. Oh, wow.
Sure. So I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to call them. Sometimes I want to say friends, but then I sound like a politician. Well, friends.
Yeah.
So I don't
You're
know.
my friend.
Yeah. So, but I do feel all that interaction really helps, especially in this day and age of social media. That that's all. It's all it's about now. It's that type of interaction.
Well, and you gotta, I mean, like, I started a group page called Uncle Vinny's Extended Italian Family, where it's just a group, and you could share anything from recipes to family pictures to funny stories.
That's a great idea.
And they can post. I don't unless you start breaking the rules of the group, I'll start monitoring the posts. But you can post anything you want. You could post jokes, videos, and there's certain people that should not even step foot into anything comedy, because like they just get offended.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, that's a nipple," and they report. "Oh, that's an ass cheek," and they report. And I'm like, it's a comedy page. But then again, I monitor it where if it's offensive, you got a lot of people out there that think you have to be raunchy, over the top, disgusting, vulgar to be funny.
Right.
You don't have
so
to.
Not true.
But
that's the easy way out. Actually.
Correct. But there are lines to where, listen, if you're watching comedy, you come to my show, I curse.
Right.
I'm cursing in a tasteful way, but I curse. I keep it in context. I curse. I'm not F this, F that. And I get some people that write me, "I was at your show, I loved it, but you used the F word 16 times." And I'm like,
You counted?
hold on. What? I'm like, what's weirder?
Yeah.
I cursed, or you brought a pad to count my curses?
Here's number 17 for you.
Were you supervised, or you were allowed out of your house without medication? Like, 16?
That's even how I feel about the people that take the time to report. Like, you have nothing else in your day. I wish I had your life.
Dude, they're angry typers. You get these people that go home and they probably have like Eye of the Tiger in the background. They flip up their laptop and they're like, "Yelp, my asparagus tasted like shit today," and it's a 16-page like come on, it's But here's the thing that sucks about this whole world in general. Somebody will take the effort to put something negative versus somebody taking the effort to put something positive.
Correct.
And they'll put more into the negative. Yes. Like, there's a couple of comedians out there that what they started doing was putting controversial posts on their Instagram and Facebook and YouTube just to grab and gather attention to their
right.
So now you have your video that it's the only video on your page that got over 100,000 views with over 15,000 comments, whatever it was, but it's all your fans arguing with each other. Blacks and whites and Italians, and I'm like, forget it. I don't need negative shit.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's not my idea of how to do it.
Be funny. You're a comedian. Just be funny. Stick to being funny. Don't be controversial. You know,
Right.
like I don't walk on eggshells with comedy, but I also know I'm not going to bring up politics. I'm not going to bring up religion. Those are the two things I stay away from, and that's it. Yeah, because here's my thing, and Hollywood right now is, I can't even watch TV anymore. I get it. Trump is our president, and people love him and people hate him. You watch TV, every late night host, all they got to do is bash the president. Right. And listen, that's our president. You don't have to love him, you don't have to hate him, but come up with new material.
Absolutely right.
And like that whole thing that Robert De Niro did, he came out and he said, "F Trump." The whole audience clapped. You're telling me that whole room, no one voted for Trump?
Right.
So you have a president that people are afraid to admit they voted for. And even the ones that voted will clap against him to fit that little mold that everyone's trying to make. But it's like, listen, you voted for him, you voted for Hillary, freedom of speech, freedom to vote. It's like, we get it. He's a hated president. he doesn't know how to shut his mouth, but come up with new material.
Yeah.
And I don't like the world we're in right now, man. It's like you can't take a stand. It's almost like, all right, there's two people in this world. I have my opinion, you have yours. Let's call me Group A, you Group B. You have your opinion, I respect
Why am I Group B? Why can't I be that?
You just
There you go.
all right, now you're Group A because of how you responded. But it's just, I don't know. You have your opinion, I have mine. I respect your opinion even though it's not mine. Then you have the other group. You're an asshole for having your opinion.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you for not following mine.
Right.
And now I hate you and I hope your whole family burns in a fire.
That's right.
Like, all right.
And not only do you hope they burn the fire, but you'll actually type that in the comment now.
And start the fire.
Right.
Because of who I stand behind. It's like people ask me every day. Like I made that post. I don't know if you saw it. It's Uncle Vinny for president.
Oh, I did see that. I have that on my list of questions.
They're like, well, are you running because you want to replace Trump? You're not a fan of Trump?
Ugh.
Are you running? I'm like, holy shit! It's a Snapchat character. He's not running. Look, I'm voting for him. Please don't write Uncle Vinny in the voting. Like when you go vote, don't write Uncle Vinny because the shit's gonna come back to me, and then I might have to run, and I don't want to. People are nuts, man.
Wow. Well, that was you didn't know you were going to do that rant tonight.
No, there's so much ranting built up inside me. I might have to do a night where I just dedicate to rant because people are nuts. They all need medication.
Yeah, and who was it? There was some comic I was talking to. Who the hell was it? He went out one night to do a set, and he just had a shit day. I think he said his girlfriend broke up with him or something, and he just went out there and complained about it for the whole whatever the amount of time he had for his set.
Killed it.
And yeah, he was told it was one of his best nights ever. I can't remember who that was.
It's truth. People, listen, one thing I realized that all the videos I do and all the comedy that I do, when you come, people see me on social media and they don't know what to expect when they see me live. I don't do anything on social media on stage. I separate it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of these comics, you want to do the same thing. Whatever you do on social media, you just bring it to stage. That's fine. To me, you're kind of getting the short end of the stick as a fan to come out and pay for what you see for free. But I do a lot of relatable humor, man. I mean,
well, that's what I like, and one of the many reasons I feel you're breaking through so quickly, because your comedy is more original. You break into characters. You know when you're like we're talking about Trump, and you have the one bit about the wall. Right. And getting the Mexicans to build the wall, but you then break into character, and you talk like a Mexican. You do you as you're building the wall, you're having the conversation. A lot of and maybe you have a different opinion, but it seemed to me like that kind of comedy, that kind of performance, was kind of gone for a while.
It was.
Yeah.
Robin Williams was my all-time inspiration.
Well, there you go. Right. Where that was. You talk about the talk show, the late night talk shows. Guys, it seemed like that's all we've had, and I'm not knocking anybody. I mean, there's plenty of great comedians out there, but it did seem like that was all we had. Just guys standing there, just talking to the mic about this and that. And nobody's breaking into character. No, yes, nobody was breaking into character. Nobody was getting that original. Sorry, but
no. Listen, you're 100% right. And I said to myself, if I'm going to get into comedy again, I'm going to lose it all on stage. I'm just going to go out watching Robin Williams perform. You would close your eyes, and if you listened for 15 minutes, if you didn't know what you were watching before you closed your eyes, you would literally think there was 6 people on stage. Yeah, that's what I tried to do.
Like you're constantly hitting the clicker on the TV or something, changing channels. Yeah.
When I talk about my dad, anybody I bring up, my dad, my mom, my grandmother, my aunts, my cousin, a Mexican, an Indian, an English person, I'm not going to just talk regular because you're not going to grasp the full, the full part of the story. I break into character, so. I've always been like that. I've always been very theatrical with it. Like my mom, I mean, God bless her, raising me. There was nothing she could say to me without me having a comeback that would make her laugh. And then now she's basically beating my ass for making her laugh. My daughter has that now. Mm-hmm. Like my daughter is very theatrical, but I've always been like that. It's like, listen, you perform. That's what it is. It's a performance. So get on stage. I let it all out on stage. I'm still not at that point where I'm so comfortable where I just totally I still hold back. Sure. So, but that comes with
absolutely. It comes, and speaking of the videos and stuff, if you guys haven't seen it, any of the Uncle Vinny videos or the how do you say it, Zia Lucia? You gotta. And we were talking before we went on. There's one particular. If you're going to start with one, go for the April Fool's one. I was dying. It's great. It's just really great stuff. And And yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of I don't even know what the effects are called. Just effects from the phone. Special
So
effects?
I started with a snap. So Uncle Vinny's always been after my dad. The accent, the anger, the road rage, you know, the stuff that he says. I started with a Snapchat filter as a joke.
That's what I would Snapchat.
And it was a joke. It was by accident. I was doing a show in White Plains, and I made believe he was my Italian uncle promoting the show, and then I used him to kind of attack one of my cousins. We were in a weight loss competition. My sister said, you have to make a page for this guy. This is a character you just created. So I started doing the Road Rage Wednesdays and all that, and I remember one morning I wake up on Wednesday, and if I don't post a Road Rage Wednesday, it used to be 9 o'clock. Now if I don't post it by 7:30, straight death threats. I've been waiting all day for this shit. You know, I had a long day. How dare you not? I'm like, what the? What? I'm like, how dare I? So one Wednesday I wake up and I get in my truck and I put it on and I'm like, oh, I'm going to throw up. I call my manager. I'm like, Tom, they took the Uncle Vinny filter off Snapchat. Uncle Vinny's dead.
Shit.
He's like, what? I'm like, there's no filter anymore. I'm like, Uncle Vinny. He's like, use another filter. I'm like, what are you, out of your mind? I'm like, Uncle Vinny's dead. I can't do Road Rage Wednesday. I flip out. I end up emailing Snapchat. And I said, listen, guys, I know this is not going to be seen by anybody, but I'm a comedian. I use this filter as a character. I've literally, I gave birth to a character with this filter. Uncle Vinny and Zia Lucia need to live. Like, it was the dumbest email. I was like, they need to live, and you just put them on like, you just like stop their breathing. Where's the filter? Somebody responds to me, and he's like, the filter is, so what they do is when the movie comes out, they'll make that filter an advertisement. So Wreck-It Ralph came out.
Yeah.
You didn't know, but if you clicked on Wreck-It Ralph, it was Uncle Vinny's face with a bunch of graphics around it. So he goes, there's nothing wrong with the filter. It'll be back tomorrow. No! Dude, it's Road Rage Wednesday. They're like, Road Rage, what? I'm like, you guys are killing me right now. I'm going to get death threats. Finally, somebody reaches out to me and they said, listen, I'm a creator at Snapchat. I looked at your page. Dude, I've never seen a filter used like this. You've dedicated this to a character. I'm going to send you the lens. And he sent me a downloadable
that's so
lens.
nice.
Wow.
So now Snapchat can just get rid of it, and I still have it. Like,
Right.
I'm actually hoping they get rid of it. So I'm like, all right.
Somebody else has it.
Uncle Vinny still lives. How you doing, that? Oh,
That's
which
really
level?
great.
Yeah, no, the guy Dominic from Snapchat ended up sending it
Wow.
to me, and
That's a
yeah.
crazy
So I
story.
have the filter locked in my phone.
So now you got to write them again. Please kill that filter. Please get rid of it.
No, God, because then I might delete the email by accident, then I won't have the filter. But they were cool for getting back to me. But
Yeah, I'm shocked.
the character is just, I mean, I don't know, man.
Did you say, do you know who I am?
Do you not know what Road Rage Wednesday is?
I went to Toronto and back.
Oh, man. That's like, see, everyone asks me, they're like, do you get awkward? Like, here's what makes me awkward. When people start seeing me now in public and they do one of these. And then they walk by. I'm like, because I'm still sitting there going,
It's just me.
I have shit on my face. And I'm like, oh, they recognize me.
Yep.
When people see me out, I'm like, yo, just come up to me and say hi.
Right.
Even though that's still, like, that I have to get used to. Like, people, like, they just open up. Like, hey, man, my husband left me 3 weeks ago. I almost killed myself. And I saw one of your videos, and I didn't. I'm like,
What do you
so
say?
you're technically still suicidal. So you're basically saying I have to stay funny or else you're going to kill yourself. But it's, I love how they come up to me, but just approach me. Like, I'm like, the way I am on stage is the way I am off stage. I don't know how to be different.
I've told that story before. We were in the city once, and we were waiting on the line to get in. We were going to the Iridium to see a music show, and a guy had come. I'm standing on the line. Sally saw somebody she knows, so she was talking. And I'm standing on the line, and all of a sudden I get a voice behind me. Mr. Walker? First of all, who the hell's calling me Mister? You know? I'm not that old. Not yet. But I'm telling
being
you.
audited?
Well, that was the thing. I thought this guy's about to hand me, like, you know, you've been served. I
Right.
swear to God, that's what I said. Yeah? Like, I'm getting all defensive.
Right.
But I love the radio show. I love it. And then Sally happens to come walking over, and he got even more excited. Oh, and Sally too! And we were taking
We
pictures.
actually thought Eric paid someone to do it just to mess with us. It took us a while because he would totally do that.
I had a friend that did that once, and then when I first started out, we went to a restaurant and the waitress comes over and she's like, "Hi, oh my God!" And I was doing it for 3 months. I was like, "What's up?" She was like, "You're Uncle Vinny." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I love your videos. Can I have an autograph?" And I'm like, yeah. And then she just starts laughing, and my boy starts laughing. I'm like, oh, you're a dick. I really wanted to sign my first autograph. Oh, you're not getting tipped. And then it went on for like 6 months where everywhere I went, they would call me Vinny. And I fucking hated it.
I bet.
So then I was like, that's it. I'm changing the whole page to Rodia Comedy, and I'm going to start putting my stand-up in it. But then a couple months down the road, I was at a restaurant, and I was with the same kid, and a waitress comes over, and she's like, hey, oh my God, you're one of my favorite comics. I'm like, can you just not go out and do this? And he's like, dude, I didn't do anything. Yeah, okay. Can I just have a salsa with lemon, please? She's like, oh, what a dick. No, she looked at me. She was like, yeah, sure. So walks away. He goes,
she's crying.
He's like, no, dude, that's a legitimate fan. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're a douchebag. He's like, it's a legitimate fan. I'm like, oh my God, I just shunned her away. I think I'm going to throw up. So she comes back. I'm like, name one video I did. She was like, last week you did the thing with the Chinese people in the back seat. I'm like, oh my God, hey, thank you so much. This is the best salsa what I've ever had in my life. Did you stir this? Oh man, it was, he got me good twice without trying the second time.
But and you mentioned Eric. Eric's our co-host on the radio show. He's the opposite. He gets all starstruck and he won't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were, I don't know, was it last summer? I guess it was. We had Kevin Downey Jr. was coming on the radio show. The night before, Eric's out to eat with his wife. The craziest thing, they're sitting at the dinner out at a table.
Right.
Kevin Downey Jr. walks in, sits at the table right next to them.
Kevin's tall guy, blonde hair.
Yeah.
Always in a suit. I've seen him a couple times at the functions. I've never actually maybe I met him at the Christmas thing.
Yeah, he's around a lot. Yeah. Yes. The Christmas Day Governors. Yeah, he was there, yeah. And Eric, he calls me. He goes, he's here. Kevin Downey Jr.'s here. I'm like, all right, so say hi to him. He's coming on our show tomorrow. So introduce yourself. I came to that. He's eating dinner. So what's the problem? Just say hello. He eventually did, though, but even then he was like, Mr. Downey.
You know, my whole thing is like, listen, I don't know, man. Like, I do get people that, like, more and more now, they know, especially on the island. And if I'm eating with listen, you get in this business and you're in the spotlight. You put yourself in the spotlight when you want to sell tickets. You put yourself in the spotlight when you have a show. Right. You put yourself in the spotlight when, you're doing stuff to promote yourself. So if you're going to put yourself out there, then you cannot get irritated or pissed off if somebody approaches you when you're out of your house.
Absolutely right.
If somebody pops through my chimney and goes, I'm a really big fan.
That's a different story.
You might have drew the line, but,
Unless she's hot.
Right. Yeah, or if he's if it's a guy and he's helpful and he's willing to power wash my fences, or do some of my yard work in the back. But it's like, I don't know, man. I hope I never get to that stage where I'm too busy for the person that, watches me and supports me, because these people are literally home watching your videos,
right,
watching your content, calling their friends up, excited about your show,
yep,
and you're going to be too busy to say hi to them. Like, you see people out like that, I'm like,
yep,
I don't know, man. You put yourself in a spotlight, you got to be able and willing to take everything that comes with it, and a lot of people lose sight of that once they, get to a certain, tier, I guess.
I mean, I can understand, if you're in the middle of a meal or something, or, or you're with family or something, I can understand it to a certain degree, but right, I'm with you, though. When you're done eating, it's part of the deal. This right, is, and that deal when you get into it. It's not a new thing. Celebrity's been there forever.
You got to see me, like, my partner Dom, like, he's so irritated with me because, like, I'll still get excited over, like, like the video today. I told you, I was like, oh my God, this is a catch. I get excited. I'm like, yo, 1,000 views in 14 minutes. Click. And he's like, you're such a dick. But I get excited when people come up to me. Like, I'm like, oh my God, did you see how many people waited for pictures? Mm-hmm. I will never stop getting excited over that because it'll just keep growing.
Yeah.
And I think, listen, you have to appreciate what you do, man. I truly love what I do.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have to expect it and be willing to accept it.
And
in this business.
Same thing. I mean, after, one of our live shows, if we're out there, because we have a comedy troupe. We do murder mysteries and game shows and stuff.
Right.
It's the first thing on my mind when the show's over. Oh, did you hear when they laughed at that? Or did you hear the amount of laughter? Or did you hear the reaction to this? Yeah. Like, it's a rush. It's a high. All right,
Talking about the guy coming down the chimney, Christine Turner said, sorry, Santa, buy a ticket.
No, Santa can stay. Santa can stay.
If he brought toys.
Right.
All right, so let's go back. Because you do have an interesting story. You did comedy for a while, then you got out of it, you came back. Explain all that if you don't mind.
So I was always a funny kid. class clown, made my family laugh. I got a huge Italian family. I think my grandfather was originally one of 15.
Wow.
They all live in, for the most part, all live in Westchester, New Rochelle. And I remember, I think I was at a family barbecue. I was about 21, and I think it was a cousin or a friend of mine. He goes, listen, he goes, you're funny around us, but we can relate to you. We know what you're talking about. You think you could be able to be funny on stage? I'm like, what do you mean, like stand-up? Never thought about doing stand-up at that point. And I just
What were you doing at that point?
I've had so many jobs, man. I get bored. That's another thing with stand-up. I get bored. I've been an electrician. I've been a finance manager for a car dealership. I've been a salesman. I got my cardiac ultrasound certification. I was checking people's hearts. Like, I just get bored. Comedy is one thing I've never gotten bored with. So they dared me. That night, we found out there was an open mic at New York City, NY Comedy Club in the city, or Broadway Comedy Club. I think it was New York City Comedy Club. Went out there, did my first 6 minutes, absolutely fell in love with it.
That night. So your relatives said it to you that day?
Dared
You went
me,
that night?
because
and
one
did
thing,
6 minutes. That's a long time.
One thing that the only thing in life that I am 1,000% confident about is if you put me in a room, I'm making you laugh. I can't help but, it's like the way my mind is geared, I walk into a situation, I'm finding things that I can, poke fun at or make into a joke.
I do the same thing.
I can't, like, anything. And it's not that I can't be serious. I'm serious about comedy. Like, I have to be funny.
Sure.
So I did the 6 minutes. I fell in love with it. I started, the owner came up to me, or the manager, and he goes, this is your first time ever grabbing a microphone? He was like, you're too comfortable on stage. And I started doing small shows here and there for a couple of years, stopped, and then obviously got married, had a kid real quick after marriage, and I always had it inside me. Like, I said, I have to get back on stage. And listen, the older you get, the more mature you get. I watched stuff back then, and I'm like, oh my God, I had to curse every 2 seconds to be funny.
Yeah.
And I try to minimize it now because you want to obviously open up your fan base. So I did research. Literally, I had graphs in my basement. I would follow 2 or 3 guys in the comedy business that were kind of no-name comics and track them for a month. Whoever grew more, I would go through every single post he posted in that month, and I wanted to see what he did that the other 2 guys didn't do. And then I said, okay, so this guy used hashtags, he posted at these times, I'd write everything down. Next month I did the same thing. I'm like, okay, so he did this, that this guy did, and I started connecting the dots on what everybody was doing to grow, whether it was 5 followers a month or 10 or whatever. And I took that, then I said, okay, well, this guy is growing a lot because he's actually targeting a certain audience. I said, you know what? I'm targeting the Italians. There's 18 million Italians in this country.
Right.
I'm targeting the Italians. So I said, okay, so I have that. Then I'm like, okay, here are the time slots. Here are the hashtags. So when you hashtag, I won't use a hashtag that doesn't have at least 2 million searches for that hashtag, because that just tells you that people are going to hit that hashtag and find their way to your page. Did that for a year. As I started doing that, I came out with the character. I started doing videos and videos. I was doing 2 videos a week. Now I won't go a day without putting a video up. You have to be consistent.
Right. And I see, even if it's just a minute, you're throwing them up there.
I'm throwing them up there. I'm making a video. I'm cutting a video of my comedy. I'm doing my daughter. Whatever's funny in that day, I'm posting it.
Check out the video made with his daughter earlier today, by the way.
That was real shock. She was not supposed to say that. She was supposed to say something else, but not that.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah. She came out with that.
Great.
And then I thank God I was recording. But then I started, so May 5th was the show. I hit 1,000 followers on Instagram in August. And I was like, you know what? If I can get to 10,000 followers in a year, this would be cool. I could start. And I always looked at it as the more followers I get, the more shows I can do.
Right.
So then I started doing where I would put a video and then promote it in a certain area and grow my area there and then start spreading around. And I think I hit 1,000 followers in August. And then in October, I started my Facebook page. And I think Facebook hit 30,000, and I think I'm almost at 25 with Instagram. But it's just, it's the like I got signed with Roger Paul in the city, and even he's like, Ant, you're spreading to the West Coast now. Like, to get people from Australia come do a show in Melbourne, I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. Like, people send me videos of, like, there was this girl in Melbourne, Australia. I made a video for her dad's birthday, and she recorded him watching it. The dude started crying on the video.
Wow, man.
And I'm sitting there, and listen, people write me some heartfelt messages, and I read them all. I'll be in my basement crying, like a good 5 minutes.
Yeah. Like
when I went to Toronto, I visited that little girl with cancer in Toronto, and I promised her 5 months back, if if you can't make it to the show, I'm coming to you. I brought the whole show to the hospital. It's a shell shock of how fast it's happened. I'm literally 3 years ahead of where I wanted to be. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely good. Going to Toronto and having people like cheer my name in Toronto, and people saying, come to Florida. But what's funny is I ask all my fans, I'm like, where do you want me to perform? I can grasp where you guys are, and I can go there if I have enough following. People are like, dude, you should do the Barclays Center. I'm like, I appreciate the confidence, but the Barclays holds 18,000 people. I don't know how 400 people in the front would look right, but they're like, you should do MSG. I'm like, you should fucking rent it for me. You should pay the bill and rent it, and I'll do it.
Let me talk to my friend Billy Joel.
Yeah.
He's got a slot open.
But it's crazy, man. I appreciate it all, and it's fun. It's tough when you're doing it and you have a family because you need them to back you.
Right.
And I mean, my wife can say she backs me, but listen. If anybody said to their spouse, I'm going to do full-time comedy, I'm quitting my job, I'm leaving my job, I'm doing full-time comedy, I don't think anybody would be like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. It's like, well, you're going to pay the mortgage.
Right.
And thank God I was able to do it March 18th. I started doing it full-time. And, I mean, yeah, we're still living there, so that's a good sign. We haven't been evicted.
But but was that... And again, tell me if I'm getting too personal, but is
open
that
book,
why?
Open book.
Okay.
Ask me whatever the hell you want.
Thank you. Is that why you quit? Because you wanted to originally? Because you wanted to start a family, get married, or one had nothing to do with the other?
I lost the love for it at one point. I didn't have the same fire for it. I was going like back and forth. I didn't know where I wanted to be in life.
It is a tough life.
It is, and listen, without social media, it's like these guys that did it the old school way, small comedy club at their small comedy club. I don't know if I could do that. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if I could do that. So I started renting out theaters. I rented out my first show back. I rented out a 400-person theater and sold it out.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's just how I thought about it. I'm like, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. This is what I'm going to risk, and I'm going to do it. And I don't know if I could do it like they did it, but I lost the love for it a little bit, and then I got sidetracked, and then obviously life happens, and then I had to get back into it. I had to, but without social media, I wouldn't. No, I mean, people wouldn't even know me, next town over. It's just social media. If you utilize it the right way, that's what it's there for.
That's incredible the way he just did all that research, man. That is crazy.
I'm a numbers fanatic when it comes to numbers.
I see that.
Like, I'm about to drop toothpicks on the floor and have you count them. I'm not Rain Man. I'm not the Italian Rain Man. I'm just really good with numbers.
All right, so you talk about finding your niche.
Yeah.
And you do a lot of. I guess so. You went after that Italian, like you said,
Italian,
right? 18 million.
The old school Italian.
But did you worry that your act would be too much of that?
No.
Because I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen comedians where they just go on and on about something, and after a while, like, all right, can we talk about something else?
So all right, so perfect example. I did Staten Island. Staten Island was my first show.
Oh, forget it. You could probably do that for 10 hours in Staten Island.
I stayed on stage. So what I do is I start off with, I talk about life in general. I talk about kids. I talk about marriage, whatever. I bring some of the mainstream into it. And I work my dad and my Italian family into it.
All
so
right.
you're not seeing all off the boat because that's just...
That's what I'm saying.
I stayed on stage. When I got off stage, I mean, Staten Island crowd was amazing. The start to finish, we just had a great show. David Lozano, Darren Rivera, they just killed it. I get off stage, and my manager, Dom, looks at me and he goes, dude, leave them something to want. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yo, you just did an hour and 38 minutes of comedy.
Wow.
I'm like, really? Dude, I thought I was cutting myself short. Dude, when I get on stage, I can't stop. You don't hit me with a light, I'm just going to... What happened was I wrote new material for Staten Island, specifically for Staten Island. I used that. And then I was like, well, shit, now I miss all my other material. Right. So I'm going to use that too. So I literally combined like 3 shows all in one. But
they got the best of all in one night.
It's not all off the boat. It's I try to keep it relatable. Like I talk about, how your wife looks when she goes to bed after you're married. Like shit just falls apart. Like they like cover themselves with a drape and you've got like a nipple hanging out and stuff like that. Like I talk about that. I talk about, me sleeping with a CPAP machine, which was never my dream. Like to go to sleep like a baby elephant. I've got like, then you roll over twice, you're choking the shit out of yourself at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I talk about it, and the people relate to it. Yep, as you get older, you say shit to yourself in the morning that you never said it as a 20-year-old. Like right. 2 days ago, I woke up and I'm like, oh, I'm swollen. I'm like, was was that Reggiano we had last night? How many pieces did I have? I can't have prosciutto after 11. My breasts are swollen. Like, you never said to this 20-year-old you didn't give a shit.
Right.
But it's all relatable stuff. And I throw in the off-the-boat stuff in there. I give my father's point of view with stuff. You know, it's painful, but it's so true. Like,
Oh, it's unfortunately.
oh, it
It's true.
sucks. Like, I got mad at my boy one night. We went out to a nightclub, and I'm drinking, and we're eating, and I woke up the next day, and I'm like, dude, did I not tell you to make sure I have at least 3 bottles of water in between prosciutto? And he's like, yeah, why? Dude, my flip-flops won't even fit right now. I'm like, my feet look like balloons, bro. He's like, you sound really gay right now. I'm getting off. I'm like, my shoes won't fit. I'm swollen. You know, I need a water
can't leave
pill.
the house.
Yeah, I need to get some of the sodium out of my body. It sucks, dude, getting old. It fucking sucks.
Meanwhile, he's not even 40. Listen to him.
I'm close. I'm 39 in August.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm receding, and I'm actually. So, all right. So, how old are you?
How old do you think I am?
Ow.
I'm joking. I just turned 49.
Oh, you look at 49. God bless. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm being honest.
He's like, oh, I thought you were
I'm not
older.
just lying for the. No, I'm joking. But here's what I'm learning now. Now that I'm getting close to 40, you almost get excited when you get hit with some old shit. Like when old stuff happens to you, you get excited to almost brag about it.
What do you mean?
Like,
Yeah,
all right,
old
so 6 months ago, I go to the doctors and I find out I have a slight a form of Meniere's disease in my right ear.
Okay.
It only affects one ear. Unfortunately, years down the road, I might go fully deaf in my right ear. Wow. It feels like that you have water in your ear all the time. There's a ringing. Thank God I don't have the severe
That's what
cases.
Huey Lewis had for a while.
He still does, yeah.
No, it just he can hear now.
No, I can hear out of it. Some days it's full, some days
Yeah.
it's not. Thank God I don't have the severe case because you could have really bad vertigo with it. So
Right.
thank God. Because there's nothing good about it. Oh, yeah, I went to go see this comic. He spun around, threw up on stage, and passed out. So, I don't know what happened. So here's what I mean about you get almost excited that old shit's happening to you. So, I'm talking to a friend of mine, and we're talking about age, and he's like, oh, dude, man, I'm hitting 42. I'm like, dude, I'm going to be 40 in another year. I'm hitting 39 in August, okay? Don't tell me about old. He's like, yeah, you look great. I'm like, really? You want to test out my hearing in my right ear? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, 32% hearing in my right ear. Set not old or what? Receding. Bam. Don't tell me I'm not old. It's like you almost get like happy that you can relate to other old people. Like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm in this 45-year-old club. Shit, I don't have hearing in my right ear. Who else is deaf in the room? No one? Then stop your bitching. I don't have hearing. You know, it's like, hey, you want to know why I'm limping? Gout. Shellfish and steak, bitch. It's like you almost get, like you want something, some form of oldness to hit you to feel like you're old, or else you just feel like you're spoiled.
And it's I always get a good laugh at when guys bring up the limping and the leg stuff because they
Do you limp?
Well, they never never
Oh,
know.
okay. So let's talk about what you just fucking did. Holy shit! I gotta go.
It never gets old. It never gets old.
Shit. I hope that's a prosthetic. I really do. Because if that's not, you're one of the most flexible people I've ever seen.
It's my penis.
Your leg didn't move and you just sidekicked me. Dude, you gotta warn people like that. You know what's fucking funny? I saw the cover of your show. I'm like, why does it look like there's a leg on the floor? How the fuck did he do that with graphics?
Yeah, right. No, that was real.
Oh, it just bugged me out. Dude, that's like taking off your arm right now and fucking shaking my hand. That wasn't cool.
Well, since
That wasn't cool. Well, you dude, and for everybody out there, that wasn't rehearsed. I shit this couch. Dude, you can't take off your leg mid-conversation.
sure you can. It's easy. I can do it again. See, look.
That was fucking awesome. You can. Oh! Can you please do me a favor? Can you flip it upside down and fucking just leave?
I have pictures on Facebook, right? I'm sitting there like this. Didn't I just recently try to actually drink it this way?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta take it down. You gotta stop. You gotta put it down. Put down your foot. Put down your leg.
Put down your foot.
That was the first. That was the first time I actually drank like.
Shit. Oh, that was great. That just made the whole night. Oh,
It never gets
can't wait to
old.
tell my daughter tomorrow. What did you do last night, Daddy? Guy took his leg out. Guy literally took his leg out. His penis? No, his leg. His
asshole, daddy.
I mean, usually, like, when you're dealing with a black gentleman, you're like, oh, he took his leg out, dropped his penis right in front of you. But no, that was you're like, holy shit. All right. So you can literally kick someone from across the street, just fucking throw your leg.
I can literally put my foot on my mouth after saying something stupid. Yeah. There's a ton of them.
I need a new memory card in my head right now because I just have... we can go another hour on just your leg. Can I use your leg? Because technically I can't kick someone's ass, but you can, but you can't come. And I want
to... I've actually... I'll get you.
Yeah, he's got the prosthetic graveyard upstairs.
It's just a bunch of legs?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, that was great. Okay.
Actually, I didn't even tell you.
Got the water leg.
Because up here is the socket where your rear leg sits in. And I'm a huge Met fan. I know you're a Yankee fan. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm throwing out the first pitch. I'm doing it for Italian Day.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
This Sunday,
congratulations.
yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, Mother's Day.
Good for you.
Awesome. That is awesome. So I always have on here when I get new ones. I always get the Mets emblem. That's like my tattoo.
Right.
But I didn't even tell you because I'm getting a new one. I'm getting this on the back on it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'll be
cool.
I'll be like a walking billboard.
Fuck, dude, that was so great.
Yeah, that's nice.
Hey, honey, where are we going for vacation? Aruba? Can you grab my tan leg upstairs? Can you grab the tan one? Do the 4-day tan one. I don't want to look, I don't want to look uneven. It's like progressively tan legs. Can you get the 3-day tan? You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to get burnt. Get the sunburn one. Get the sunburn. Get the SPF 30 leg. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm going in a rough neighborhood. Can you bring the one down with the stab scar on it? The stab wound? Give me the stab leg. Oh, fuck. My brain's going to blow up. There's so many jokes. There's so many jokes. Oh, I can't breathe. Is it hot in here? Fucking halogen LEDs. Oh, that was great. That was great.
I've actually toyed. I have the comedy troupe. We've done all sorts of comedy shows and acting, but I've never done stand-up. I don't see that. And that's actually what I was thinking when I asked about a niche. If it's too much, because I would love to do a bit.
Oh, dude.
I've always wanted to do a movie about a one-legged cheerleader.
That's a comedy in itself. Yes. Oh, where she like does a flip and then flips her leg and shit, or like
even a kick line. Like I can only do the one leg. Like,
dude, you know how bad I want you to come to one of my shows and just give out roses and everybody throws roses on stage. You just fucking chuck your leg. And then I pick up your leg and I'm like, thank you guys, I appreciate it. I'll see everybody backstage. Shit. Oh man, that was great.
Do you know who Paul Mercurio is?
No.
He's a comedian. He writes for Colbert, and he does. He has a one-man show on Broadway. But he was, what was that, about a year ago? Last summer, he was playing the governor, so he called into the show, and we were talking to him, and he did the same thing. He made a joke about one-legged person, so we immediately jumped on it. We're like, dude, I got one leg. He's like, no way. So we had to laugh about it.
Dude, I got one leg.
So he was playing.
You never hear that. Dude, I have one leg.
Well,
I have one too, asshole. Okay, I have the other one too. No, I have one. I just have one.
So he played that night at Governor's, and that's part of his bit. He brings people up, and he messes with them, he talks to them. And he just, by chance, he happened to call me up. So I went up, and I introduced myself, and I said, we actually spoke once before. He says, oh, really? I said, you called my radio show today. He goes, are you the one-legged guy? And sure enough, I did it, dude, and the place went nuts. The place went nuts. I'm standing on stage with him, just holding the leg up.
That was awesome.
All right. I don't know how to follow that up. No.
You followed the leg. Shit. Oh, you literally just kicked my ass with that leg. Oh, you should start a Kickstart company. I can just keep going. I can just keep going with this. Oh man, you sure had the leg up on this show.
Oh yeah,
that's got to be the joke that's used all the time.
Yeah, everybody that uses that joke, they don't have a leg to stand on.
The dog's walking away. He's like, oh, fuck, I heard these leg jokes before.
Oh, can I make this worse? I'm going to make this worse for you.
If you tell him the dog has a prosthetic leg, I'm going to lose it.
No, it's a prosthetic dog. The whole dog is prosthetic. No. Sally.
I'm just going to kill you.
I'm going to make this worse, even though she's going to kill me. Sally has a fetish.
I do not have a fetish.
Her ex-husband also had a prosthetic leg. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. In fact,
same leg, same spot.
So is it just the right leg you like off, or
apparently? Apparently.
At dinner tonight, this is a true story. At dinner tonight, we had some corn.
Right.
And we had, the prongs that you stick in the corn. We were done eating, and I was putting the prongs away, but I don't know what I did, but one of them just broke right in my hand.
Right.
I have no idea what I did, but it broke, and it broke right in half. So one of her sons grabbed one, and now it's just one prong. He goes, "Oh, this will be Mom's favorite now because it only had the one."
Is that like something you look for?
No,
Like,
it
hey,
just,
what was wrong
it
with that
just
guy? He was like a
happened.
normal two-legged
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
They're so boring.
Well, I met
I
my
like a guy that can't walk out on you.
I met my first husband when I was 19, and he was, you know, an amputee. And then,
Oh God, I'm going to hell.
yeah, and then I met Tony like years later. I met Tony when.
But what did you go on like amputeelove.com?
No.
Yeah.
Leglesslove.com. I'm like, oh, I'm going to hell.
Stumpjob.com.
Oh my god.
She hates that joke.
I hate
It's my
that
favorite.
joke.
It's
Find
my favorite.
yourself
I hate
a
that
Stumpy.
joke.
You do know I'm going to come out now with a fake, like, dating site for amputees. You know?
Okay.
I'm gonna do it. You ever get walked out on a lot and you just wish he didn't have two of them?
You ever get rolled out on? Hopped out on?
You ever want to find a guy that can't join an ass-kicking contest just because, you know, you never see a flamingo do that? Just, oh, man.
But, and then you realize, I don't know if you know, my last name is Walker. So
I gotta go. I gotta go.
I
gotta go.
I did consider it changing it to Hopper. Dude.
Gotta go,
It's
bro.
true though. That's my name.
Oh.
That's my name.
You and Dennis Hopper need to, like, change.
Well, he's dead, so he's just Dennis dead.
Dennis Hopper died?
He's been dead a long time.
I gotta
Aw.
follow up on entertainment.
It's got to be at least 5
Hopper
years,
died.
right?
I loved
At
him in
least.
Speed.
Yeah.
Dead?
He's dead. Poor Dennis.
Yeah, what a wasted 2 legs.
You think they could give it to me?
You do know I'm gonna get emailed by like an amputee. I actually have one leg and I was highly offended.
You
Okay?
son of a bitch.
You right-legged amputees, I have no left leg.
You
try to live in a
two-legged-
hard life.
Two-legged scumbags. You're so unappreciative.
Oh, you're so good at hopscotch, man.
Wow.
Oh, dude, if I were you, I would fuck with everybody. Like, if like you guys go out to dinner, I would sneak in the house like the day before, like whatever, like earlier, and like just like step in like dirt and put footsteps on the ceiling. Like, who broke into our house? Oh, you can't give me one of your legs. I would just fuck with. I want to borrow one of your legs. Who is walking on a roof? Holy shit! Oh, they left a leg. Like, I have a barbecue and a bunch of chicken parts in the barbecue. My boy be sitting next to me like, what do you want, a thigh or a leg? I take a leg, here. What the fuck? Oh, man. I think God just texted me. He said your time is up. I'm going to go see him today. Oh, no. And then God just texted me. He said, you're not coming upstairs. You're going down to the basement. Oh, I've got so many. I can't breathe. No, you don't understand. When I come, like, when I get so overwhelmed with jokes, it's like literally emails are going into my head right now. Like, say this, say that. Oh, shit. Thank God you didn't do that at 9. We would have never spoke about anything else.
I'm going to try and bring it back somehow.
Oh. Dude, I want to just take your recliner now and chop half of it off. Like, why do you need the right side? Like, you're on a recliner like this.
That's a good idea. I
You
can
got,
rest
you got your leg on your shoulder, just resting it.
just like this. Yeah, I can put my
That's
leg
it.
up while I eat dinner. or
You should
something.
have
That's a good
one-legged
idea.
recliners. Oh, we're going to fuck. There's an amputee out there that wants to stab me. And you know he's going to give the whole army story. You know. Lost my leg
What
on-
I do actually,
Oh,
people will ask
God.
me how it happened, and again, Sally hates this too, but
I hate this.
I do it to everybody.
You were teasing a guy with one leg and he chopped him.
No, I tell everybody I'm the only. If you Google hammerhead shark
Don't
survivor
tell me
on
it
Long
was a-
Island,
Do not tell me it was a shark bite.
that's right. Tell everybody.
Oh.
No, that's not what happened, but that's right. Tell everybody. Somebody, I'm sorry. Were you in the war? No. Charles, what happened to you? Shark. And they, what?
Honestly,
Sure.
I liked you before you told me that story. Was fake. No, dude, I was gonna hug you because that would be the coolest fucking story. You do know I was gonna Google it as soon as we were done. You're such a dick.
There's only one.
Oh.
See, my problem is I end up laughing. There's only been one time, only once. I've been an amputee for 14 years. There's only one time I was able to keep a straight face. It was in a diner as a waitress, and I went on with it. Oh yeah, if you Google hammerhead survivor shark attack.
You know how much cooler you would have been if that story was true?
Well, that's why I tell it that way because
man.
it's boring otherwise.
Oh,
gotta-
dude, I can't breathe. Holy shit.
All right.
Oh.
So, when we recorded Joey Cola's show at Governor's that night, I actually got a kick out
Joey
of it.
with 2 legs.
Joey with 2 legs. There was a total.
Cola with 2 legs.
There were a total of 7 legs in the studio that night. So
I just did the old laugh. I just did the fucking inhaler.
Who was the dog? The cartoon? Mutzy? Was that his name?
Yes, from Hanna-Barbera.
Yes.
Oh my god. So weird you just said that.
Darcy Lee Easton said, "Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark."
Ate my leg. All right. So when you mentioned before, you don't know how the old guys did it back in the day. I actually got a kick out of that night because it
No
was.
pun intended.
I took my leg over and kicked myself.
I'll stop. I get to look at my head like
No,
a like
don't
a man.
stop.
All right,
Don't
got
stop. But I enjoyed it because it was like the older guys talking to a newer guy, and you guys were comparing notes and I think that was the first time you met Joey, right?
I met Joey and Richie Burns. Richie Burns was in
Richie
there.
Byrne, yeah.
Funny as hell.
Oh, both 2 great guys. So do you have you had a lot of that so far? Have other comedians been supportive? I saw a picture of you with Kevin James. You know, have you worked with some big time comedians? Have there been some pinch me moments? And how have these other comedians been? Are they supportive? Are they threatened? Are they dicks?
Yeah. See, here's the problem with me. You ask a question, you get an answer. Kevin James was awesome. Kevin James came. I had the 2 sold out shows at Levittown. That weekend couldn't have went any better. He wanted to do 15 minutes before me. I'm like, dude, do whatever you. I'll do 15 minutes and you can headline.
Right.
Like, you're Kevin James. I'm a huge fan of Kevin. Great guy. Very, very down to earth. Didn't really say much to him because it's like, I don't want to bother him, but couple of old school comics come up to me and approach me. They like what I'm doing. Chris DiStefano. It's so funny. I'm in my basement. I've been a fan of Chris since he started, and I love his humor, his delivery, his material, and I'm following him. And all of a sudden, I look at my phone and it says Chris DiStefano following back, and I go, yeah, okay. So I message him, and I'm like, yo, thanks for the follow, man. I'm a huge fan of yours. 2 seconds, he messages me back. I actually love your stuff, dude. Keep it going. I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna just retire. Like, it was that one moment that I'm like, another established comedian, found me relevant, acknowledged me for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And we're actually doing a show together, May 29th at Gotham Comedy Club, me and Chris. But Chris has reached out, but Chris is one of those rare guys where he still keeps in contact with his fans. I see him writing back and reposting. Some comedians, I won't name anyone, not threatened by me. It's almost like they feel like I've leapfrogged the process and they did it the old school way, which is fine.
Absolutely, but that doesn't mean you have to do it that way.
But let me ask you a question. If you were driving to the Bronx right now.
I use left foot pedals, by the way.
Again, I got the leg out of my head. It's still in there. So, so if you're driving to the Bronx and you've taken the same way all your life and it takes you an hour from door to door, and I tell you, hey, Tony, I have a way for you to get to the Bronx in 15 minutes. You're not taking that way. You're going to take that way. So you can't hate on me for finding a quicker way to where you got to.
Right.
So I find that. Like, a lot of them, they see that I'm growing, and it's hard in this world to find someone that wishes or congratulates success for someone else. People don't do that. I don't care. If you tell me, hey, I just struck a movie deal, I got $17 million, God bless, dude. God bless.
Right, yep.
Because your success doesn't stop mine. They get, like you said, they get threatened by me being successful. It has nothing to do with them being successful. They also, I got approached by another comic, again, won't mention his name, and he goes, let me ask you a question. Why do you have such strong guys go before you? Like, I have Davey Lozano. He's one of the funniest guys I know. The only thing missing from Davey is exposure, and he'll get there. But Davey Lozano, Darren Rivera, I work with Tara Canastraci. I want the funniest guys. You get Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart's one of the funniest guys out there. I will follow Kevin Hart. And they ask me, well, why do you do that? Well, because if I have someone that goes before me that's funny as hell, I need to be funnier.
Right.
So they make me... Tell you the truth, everyone, like what Uncle Vinny has become a push. Because if I make an Uncle Vinny video and it's funny, I get on stage, I got to be funnier than my character.
Sure.
So I constantly push myself. So I find a mix. Some comics congratulate me and they're behind me and they're like, hey, I would love to work with you. Some comics don't want to. And I've reached out to them and I've said, why don't we do a double headline show? And they're like, no, I don't want to follow you because your material is very similar to mine, or we're both Italian comics, or, you know, I don't feel like we have the same audience. Like, dude, we could do great things. No one made it by themselves.
Right.
The one guy that's actually reached out to me, and I'm going to be working with him soon, is Mike Marino.
Oh, nice.
Mike Marino, awesome guy. I had a 2-hour conversation with him. If you guys don't follow Mike Marino, follow him. Great, down-to-earth guy. And we're going to be doing a show in Toronto in October together. And Mike was all for it. And listen, Mike is in the business a long time.
Right.
Mike says, Ant, no disrespect. I have my format. I'm going to headline. I go, Mike, I'd be glad to open for you.
Yep.
Just because I headline my shows,
right.
why would... I'm not too good to do 20, 25 minutes before an established comic that's been around. He's got superiority.
Right.
Next year, Mike, you might be opening for me, but listen, I live by a rule. When you let your ego get bigger than your brain, your ego starts making decisions. That's when you start fucking up. As long as you keep your brain bigger than your ego, you're fine. So if I have to open for someone that's been established, I feel great just working with them. You know, as long as I get paid. So.
As long as I pay that mortgage.
Yeah,
So.
especially since he quit his job, doesn't want to get in trouble at home.
Right. Yeah, I can only do one charity event a month.
Well, and speaking of which, because we're almost running out of time, you do have a charity event. You have a few dates coming up, but I know one of them is a Laughs for Lexi.
Yes.
Well, go ahead. Tell a whole bunch of dates. What do you got coming up?
All right, so May 17th, May 12th, City Field. I'm throwing out the first pitch for Italian Heritage Day at City Field, which is awesome. Only if it was Yankee Stadium. May 7th. Yankee fan. May 17th.
City Field is much better stadium. Much better stadium. Forget the team. It's a better stadium.
Plus, it's a lot cheaper.
We'll take it. That's all we have. So we'll take that.
May 17th, and listen, people don't know. I used to pitch. I probably get it up there still around 80. So I'm throwing heat. They might actually sign me. They need
who are you throwing to? Do you know?
No, I don't know yet. I don't know any players on the Mets. I know Conforto.
Oh, come on. We got Cano.
Mike Piazza still play? I'm joking. No, I know. You got Cano, Conforto. You got
But no, I'm saying Cano is an old Yankee, so you should know that much.
Yeah, I listen. Regardless, I mean, I would throw out for the Mariners. I mean, just to throw out a first pitch.
Sure.
May 17th, I'll be in Livingston, New Jersey at Calabria. May 18th, I'll be in Chicago at the Piazza. May 23rd is at Levittown Governors, doing a big event for a little girl named Lexi. She has mitochondrial disease.
Oh, wow, that's right.
Yeah, and 5 years old. I met the family. I ended up realizing that between mutual friends, I knew who the dad was, and we all know the same people from Westchester. But you email me for those tickets. I have businesses around Long Island that are getting involved with that. They're donating gift baskets, gift cards. Anybody that wants to donate and be a part of that, they'll be mentioned as a sponsor. So that all the proceeds, every dollar that's going to be made is going to be donated to her charity. And then I've got Carrie Carabas, Davey Lozano, Nikki Petito. Got so many comics that are willing to do it, which I'm grateful for them because, I mean, listen, to do stuff for free these days, to find people that do it is tough. A lot of them just found out they're doing it for free. No, I told them ahead of time. About that check. May 29th, I'll be at Gotham Comedy Club in the city with Tara Conastraci, Goomba Johnny, Chris DeStefano, Chaz Palmentieri. I think we added another comic, but I don't want to say his name wrong, so I won't.
Now, what is Chaz doing? Because I saw that.
Chaz, so he does a fundraiser. He does a charity. I could find it, but I'll post it on my site.
Yeah, I'm just curious what he does at the show.
It's all charity, so all the proceeds are going to his charity.
Yeah, but he doesn't do stand-up.
No, I think he's gonna get on the mic. He does a meet and greet. You can come and meet Chaz. Okay. I think there's a ticket that you could purchase where you can meet Chaz. But that's at the end of the month, and then June 8th I'll be in Connecticut, which awesome. We ended up selling out that show in a week. At Treehouse Comedy Club.
Very nice.
And then I've got Buffalo coming up. I've got Canada coming up again. It's crazy, but you can find that on my website, rodiacomedy.com.
Rodiacomedy.com.
Yeah.
Goomba Johnny, one of our favorite guests. Remember
funny guy.
Oh, he's
I
great.
met him for the first time. What a funny dude.
Funny, but just so nice. I mean, he called into the radio show, I think, to promote a gig he had coming up. He was supposed to just, I think they said just spend 5-10 minutes. I think we did 50 minutes with the guy. And then and then even at the show, we went to see him, and he spent some time with us after the show. One of the best. All right. Rodiacomedy.com. All right. So, as always, now I know the past 2 weeks, we went pretty late. We're just getting ready to wrap it up now. So what we always do, we always end our shows with random trivia. It has nothing to do with anything. We have a lot of regular viewers, and they just developed a thing where they try to answer these trivia questions. They like the bragging rights, so they get to be the first ones to comment.
Right.
Doesn't mean anything. We just have some fun with some questions. You can answer if you want. Don't peek. What the fuck? He's peeking. Yeah, he's peeking.
They can't see that shit. I'm old.
He's old.
Another old thing.
He's almost 40.
I've
Oh,
got
God.
glaucoma.
You're here laughing like,
He's got cataracts.
he's got cataracts.
So it doesn't mean anything. We just have fun asking trivia. I'm going to ask a whole bunch of questions. I don't give the answers until I'm done with the questions, and we go back and give you the answers.
Yeah,
I saw
but
the
call it
first-
out, right on.
I saw the first question. Can I read it?
Sure.
I saw it. How many inches is Tony's actual leg? I'm joking. You're going to get 16, 28.
When I first had the
It's my last leg comment.
when I first had the amputation done, and I started, getting out and about again, people, after any surgery, people have surgery, they lose weight,
Right.
I had one guy, oh, hey, look good, you lost weight. I went right, I said, what's the matter with you? Of course I lost weight. I lost my leg. He's like, you're a dick. I was like,
I lost 14 pounds, jackass. I got a big calf muscle.
So yeah, just all random trivia questions. Feel free to jump in with your answers. Again, it's just for fun. And I've also I know we've been going late lately, so I'll make this fast. But the other complaint was the questions have been too hard the past couple of weeks.
Really?
So I'm going super easy this
They
week.
know they can Google, right? I mean, they're on the computer.
Yeah, but but
They write them really fast.
Yeah, they like to be the first
Yeah, like
one.
call them
I got
out,
it.
I don't know.
and they
Yeah,
write
they
them really
developed this
fast.
thing where
Then they
they-
argue with each other. No, I said it first.
Yeah, they'll argue over the
It's all
answers.
time-stamped. I mean,
Well, true.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. When it's midnight in Boston, what time is it in New York? That's your first question. Second question. Unless anybody have an answer? You all
Midnight.
look confused. What?
Midnight.
All right, your answer is midnight. Okay. Which American city is considered the home of jazz? Not
New
jazz.
Orleans.
Jazz. What?
New Orleans.
All right. What is the Union Jack? What is that?
what?
The Union Jack. What is it? There's something known as the Union Jack. What is it?
Yeah.
You don't know this one? I thought for sure you would know
The
that.
Union Jack.
Yeah,
No,
Union-
like
oh.
Union, like
Guy named Jack, part of Local 3.
Oh, good answer, but no.
Hey, what's up, Union Jack?
oh, is that the name of the rat that you put out inside like people's homes?
No.
Oh,
Good.
you know
guess.
that like rat
The
for the
inflatable rat
unions.
when they're on strike. or
You never
something.
saw that?
You
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
named Jack.
Yeah.
Jack the rat.
No.
Union Jack the Rat. He would have said, then what is Jack the Rat?
Yeah, true.
Union Jack.
Where was I? What percentage of an egg's weight is the shell? Multiple choice. Is it
Whoa.
12%, 55%, or 75%? What percentage of an egg's weight is the shell?
12.
Yeah, I would go with 12.
All right. What is the most eaten food in the world?
Chocolate.
I wish.
Um,
Well,
the
since
most
I stopped
the
eating,
I would
most
say
eat in the world?
in the world.
Rice.
eating food. I'm going to go with pizza.
Pizza.
No? In the world or the country?
The world.
Oh.
He said the world, so I went with Asia.
Flies.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah, right. You're probably right.
I don't know, chicken?
Well, a lot of things taste like chicken. How many continents are there in the world? Speaking
Seven.
of the world.
7.
Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia.
Okay,
You get Antarctica?
you're a geek. What is the regulation height of a basketball hoop?
10 feet.
Nice. What was Tim Robbins' character's name in Bull Durham? Great movie.
Oh, I just saw this for the first time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Great movie.
Shit.
Great movie.
Oh.
I do not know.
Did you ever see that movie?
The sick thing is, as you're reading that, I'm like, I'm going to shout it out. Oh, that's not Shawshank Redemption. He said. I'm like, shit. I was going to get so arrogant.
Oh, yeah. Most people just think Shawshank when
Yeah.
they hear that name. Which state is known as the volunteer state?
Not New York.
Yeah, true.
New Hampshire. No.
I would have said New
Delaware.
Hampshire because they should, because they don't pay taxes. They should
Yeah.
volunteer a lot.
Delaware? I don't know.
The volunteer state. Florida?
I would have guessed Florida too.
Yeah.
2 more questions. Why was the animal crackers box? Remember the animal crackers?
With the
box?
little
Because they thought it was
rope?
offensive to keep animals in a cage.
No.
Oh.
Why was the box designed with the string? The string handle? Remember the little
Yeah, I
string?
love
Carry
the
like a
string
lunchbox.
handle.
Well, that's what we all did, but that's not why it was developed.
Really?
No.
Was the rope of
Because
the circus?
you're taking an animal for a walk. I don't know.
I hope that's not the answer.
That's not.
Yeah.
You're walking your animal cracker right into the mental
Do,
institution.
do,
you're spending the night.
do, baby animal crackers.
Wow.
Do.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
All right, last question.
Tony's like, at 10:15, she gets crazy. Starts walking crackers around the house. You gotta see her with a Ritz. Just builds wheels and stuff.
All right, last question, multiple choice. What was Cheerios called when it was first marketed over 50 years ago? Was it called Cheeriots,
Oats.
Cheeries, Cheery, or My Cheery More?
I really hope it's not the last one.
It's not.
I want to go with Cheery Oats.
Cheeriots, okay.
Because they're cheery and they're oats.
Very cheery. They're happy oats.
Happy oats.
Or was it Whole Oats? Oh, sorry.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, unfortunately. All right. When it's midnight in Boston, what time is it in New York?
I would have to say midnight, huh?
You would be correct.
A lot of people got that.
Yeah, I figured. Told you they're easy this week. Which American city is considered the home of jazz?
New Orleans.
There you go. What is the Union Jack? I was surprised you guys didn't know this. I knew this.
Elizabeth Batapede says the Confederate flag.
No,
Oh.
but she was close. It is a flag. It's the national flag of the United Kingdom. It's called the Union Jack.
Oh, all right.
There you go. What percentage of an egg's weight is the shell?
12.
12% is correct.
It's a heavy yolk.
Christine Natelli got that right.
Which is the most eaten food in the world? Sally said
Rice.
that would be correct.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
Nice rice.
I just went with how many people
Yeah,
trying
you know
to
what? You're right.
She should've-
Asian
China,
people. I was
Sushi.
Asian people.
Spanish
just
food.
like-
She should have stopped there though, because she
Does-
walked. Then she put it out there that she walks animal crackers.
Right.
How many continents are there in the world? All right, well,
7.
you got that right. The regulation height of a basketball hoop.
10 feet.
Tim Robbins' name in Bull Durham.
Oh, no clue.
Anybody getting anything? Well, they must be. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nuke LaLoosh.
No one got that.
But he had a nickname. What was it?
Nuki.
What the hell was it? Meat? I think they called him.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which state is known as the volunteer state? That would be Tennessee.
Elizabeth
Oh.
Batapede got that as
You got
well.
that? Anybody get the animal crackers?
One person said so children could carry it.
No. In 1902, they were introduced as a Christmas novelty with the
To
strings
hang on the tree.
so you can hang on the tree. There you go.
Okay.
Last question.
God bless.
Thank you. Cheerios was, when it first came out over 50 years ago, it was first called Cheerios.
Cheerios.
And there you go. Thank you, guys. This is Tuesday night. We thank you, as always, for hanging out with us. Again, this is the 66th.
Hold
show.
on. Douglas Hunt got Christmas ornaments.
Oh, he did.
Wow.
Douglas. All right, very nice, Douglas.
Okay, go ahead.
This is our 66th show. We only have 2 more weeks, and then we're calling it quits for the summer, and we come back in August like we do every year. So
August what?
August. It's usually
He said August. That was like September.
no. It's usually August.
We don't
What
take
date?
the summer
Pick a
off.
date in August. Random date.
I'm gonna get
Pick
the
it-
no,
the
random.
union wrap back out. Really?
It'll be the 3rd or 4th Tuesday of August.
Just pick a random date in August.
22nd,
No.
because is that your birthday?
Yeah, my birthday's August.
August what?
I guess. You
August.
just did trivia. Now I'm going to tell you answers.
August 1.
No.
August 2.
No, you can't do it like that.
Oh,
It's
August
a bad luck number, good luck number to Italians.
13.
Would you say 14?
I said 13.
Oh, you said 13. You said 14. Like, what? Oh, man.
Anthony Rodia, this was a lot of fun, pal.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you,
was
man.
awesome. This was awesome. Thank you, guys.
RodiaComedy.com.
Thank
And
you.
I will wish you all the best in the world. And
I
I do
appreciate
think
that.
you
Thank you.
got. I think the star is rising, and someday we're gonna say, hey, "Remember that time he was here?"
Why does that be when you're so old? Why can't it be
because
Yeah.
because
He's
it'll
like,
be,
I'm gonna be 85 and you're gonna be a star.
no, because by then you'll have made 30 movies and sold
Listen,
out
I
MSG. and
I
all
will
that
tell
kind of-
you what I tell everybody that I've met in the last couple of months. The people that supported me and either welcomed me in or had me a part of their show when I was climbing are the same. Like I tell James from Governors, I'm like, dude, I don't care how big this gets. I could be selling at MSG. You call me and need me on a Saturday to headline, I'm there. You guys call me. You guys want me on the show, I'm there. I'm a firm believer that you stay close to the people that like brought you on their show or wish you luck when you started. You keep those people in mind, and you know, I mean, I might not be like, you know, you call me yesterday and I'm here today, but
right. Well, you kind of did that for us today.
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Kinda.
But like I'm loyal with that. I'm very loyal.
He's the
Firm
man.
believer.
And yeah, check out his YouTube. Check out his website. Very, very funny stuff.
Appreciate it.
And of course, Knockem Dead Comedy. We go to knockemdeadcomedy.com to see our list of upcoming dates. And of course, the Knockem Dead Comedy radio show on govsradio.com every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And hopefully we'll be back on the air
Next week.
possibly this Friday. We appreciate your patience as we're trying to get things fixed at the studio. But yeah, hopefully
Maybe Friday, because they said Thursday they're fixing
Yeah,
it.
Thursday
I
is.
wouldn't count on Thursday. But
No, I don't think Thursday either. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're,
Friday feels right.
Yeah, Friday we're
I have
hoping.
no clue you guys are talking about.
We're shooting for
Friday
Friday.
feels
he's
right.
so insightful.
GovsRadio.com, the Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show. We will. We have great things. Like I said, we have 2 shows left before we call it quits for the summer. Great things though for these 2 shows. So which we'll be announcing before next Tuesday. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
That was good.